I have a lot of trust in this individual. If this person says, "Look, we were wrong about this. I believe this is a real landing," guess what? I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna apologize to Reds and Astronomy Live and everybody here, because I'm here for the truth. I'm not here to, I'm very fluid with this.
Kyle,
listen, guys.
I think just
to be clear. Just to be clear, flat earthers also had a lot of trust in the P1000. Now they're calling footage from it CGI.
Yeah, that's true.
I know. Look,
I haven't.
Let's get it on the table, Russian Vids. You're not going to be happy with the footage that you get, if you even get the footage. Something could go wrong. He may get sick that day. Something may happen with him getting there. The only reliable way that you're going to know for sure how you feel about this launch is if you're there, and if you have a trip that is paid for by the YouTube's greatest live chat, why not just go, have a day of it, enjoy yourself, see some shit, and then go back. And you're not hurting for anything. It's not going to cost you anything, and you will either see something to your satisfaction or you won't. And it's neat and tidy, and you're in control of all of it. Why not do that?
Exactly. Basically, you can skip the extra step. You can skip the step which we all know is going to happen. You're not going to be satisfied with whatever footage you get because, all footage is basically CGI to you. So go there and see it yourself. People are going to pay for you. And also, Sean Hubbard just said...
I appreciate that.
Actually, Sean Hubbard just said, at Rhetoric, LAX to TPA round trip is $200. Fight the Flatter said he'll pay for half of that. I'll pay for the other half. We have people that already paid for the Reddit card. Dude, you're hooked. Let's go.
Hey, you're pretty real gold.
Sounds good, guys.
For that kind of shit, I would go, but... Yeah, I mean,
what do you say, RV?
What else do you possibly want, Russian? I mean, this is your golden opportunity. Make or break, man.
What do you say, RV?
Yeah, like I said, I want to see what happens on the 26th, and after that, we'll definitely schedule it.
Why don't you go and actually see it yourself? Don't worry about this extra step. We will all pay for you to get to the launch on the 26th and see it with your own eyes.
Basically,
what
we are doing here is we are paying to actually see a flat earther be intellectually honest for once, because it's such a rare sight. All right, so that's why we're all forking over money to see this shit, because we want to see if you'll actually be intellectually honest for once in your fucking life. So you said you wanted to see this Falcon Heavy launch with your own eyes. You said you want to see it with your own eyes.
Well, I didn't say launch. Hold on, Red.
Listen,
you're not hearing me. I said landing.
We know what you mean. If they have a launch, they're going to have a landing.
Together. They're
part of the same thing, dude.
It's
all
launch
and landing is part of it. Come on,
you guys. I got to make something clear on my stance. Go ahead, Steve.
Here's why he won't go. Here's why he won't go.
Hang on.
His last ditch effort, or his last option.
Yeah.
As long as this guy's there to film, what Russian Viz wants him to, it gives him a way to say, "Oh, I don't believe that," or "He didn't get the right footage," something like that. It's just a time extender, Russian Viz. Let's be straight up here, right?
But this is Russian Viz hedging his bets. I mean, we use the term launch. We understand, all of us, because we understand that with the launch comes the landing, and you seem to make an issue about it because it seems like anything you try to do to get out of things, it's just this is what we pick up on. Clearly, the launch is going to have the landing as well. Okay, so we're talking about the landing as part of the launch, the coextensive one without the other. That's the whole point of SpaceX. They're reusing these things, right? That's the whole point. To have them ready within 24 hours is the goal, isn't it?
Well, here's the thing, is Steve. I have to make something perfectly clear. Before there was SpaceX doing their supposed landings, I was saying how basically these so-called rockets from NASA, they just dunk into the ocean. I just call them expensive fireworks for the longest time. That's what I'm getting at. They don't actually go into space. That's very key. What I'm getting at. So the launch to me is irrelevant as far as the landing. So that's how I see it. And so when you guys say launch, I want to make it clear.
But here's the thing, Richard. Now you're going to say, if you even went to this, you'd be like, oh, yeah, I saw something come up. I saw something come down. It landed, but it never reached orbit. That's a different argument to begin with, by the way.
No, I don't care about that.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't care.
Listen,
what would happen if you saw it go up and you saw the booster come down and land?
Red.
That's the point.
The only thing that's clear here is that we're not talking about whether or not these first stage boosters actually make it to orbit. Okay, first of all, that's irrelevant because whether you believe that they make it to space or not, you're not going to have a fucking channel to spew that nonsense in the first place, which is the whole point of this. So again, will you go to Florida with everything literally paid for you? And I'll add something extra on top of it. If you go to Florida and you see this launch, after you cry your tears away, I will buy you a lap dance to cheer you up again. How's that?
Oh, Russian
Wait, I tell you what,
how dare you say no?
You do. How about this? Reg will give you the lap dance.
Hey,
my
by
goodness.
the way,
don't put him off.
Hello, Astronomy
Now
Live.
we'll
We
go
haven't
for
said
sure.
hey to you.
Hey,
I don't blame you. Fair enough.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm doing good.
You must have seen Reg too. I wouldn't get a lap dance from him either.
Is there anything that you want to say?
I've been-
I don't know which end is out. I've
Hold
seen
on,
Reg.
everybody.
Well, okay.
Against me.
Astronomy Live.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say, and I'm sure it's probably been said already, it's just that all of this is predicated on an if I ran the zoo fallacy. It's if I ran the zoo, I'd have the media out there shooting independent footage that looks like Astronomy Lives and Red's Rhetoric, even though SpaceX is already filming it themselves, and there's not a whole lot of incentive for the media to invest the money that would be needed for professional tracking setups the way that NASA has them when they can already get that footage for free. The thing Russian Vids doesn't seem to understand is that the general public isn't thinking like him. The general public doesn't believe that these landings are fake. They're not clamoring for the media to provide them independent proof that the landings are happening because 99% of the people out there accept it's real. So there's no real incentive there. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter what your opinion of those people are, Russian Vids. What the point is that the vast majority of people aren't clamoring for that additional footage in the way that you're asking for. And so there is absolutely zero monetary incentive. Let me finish. There's zero monetary incentive there for the media companies to provide what you're asking for. There's zero monetary incentive. And they're not to placate to your personal beliefs because you're such a minority, okay? Russian Vids, you have to understand that what Red is doing is very, very generous. He is going out of his way to upgrade his capabilities to meet continually moving goalposts. And now he finally has the money shot, the launch to landing footage. I know you say you don't care about the launch, but the point was, and many of us were getting these comments, where's the proof that the thing that landed is the same thing as the thing that launched, okay? That's why we were all striving for this launch to landing one continuous uncut shot, is to show a chain of evidence that the thing that left the launch pad is the same thing that touched down on the landing pad. Now, you are coming along and saying, well, I think it's CGI. Where's all the other videos from the media? And I'm explaining to you why the media isn't catering to those beliefs. The media isn't the whims of a single person who may have a fascination with debunking flat earthers online, like Red. And I'm not saying that to insult Red, of course. I'm just saying the media doesn't necessarily follow those priorities. They have their own set of priorities, which are primarily financial in nature. It's why clickbait is such a big thing with the media. It's why there's such a push for how to put this. There's such a push for things like Article 13 in Europe. There's such social media outlets that would compete for those same dollars, right? It's because there's this ongoing competition to grab the most eyeballs. The most eyeballs will not be grabbed by continually catering to flat earth beliefs, except to say and point out and laugh at them and say, aren't those guys funny? They're goofy, aren't they? Everyone thinks they're kooks. It would start to get a little bit awkward, and pretty much people would tune out if they kept posting videos showing what you're asking for, independent footage of Falcon landings. Let me tell you this. Sorry, Windows is deciding. No, I don't want updates right now. Thank you. Let me tell you this. The launch to landing footage of the first Falcon Heavy launch, I personally thought that was huge. And I thought to myself, wow, this is really gonna go over well, and maybe I could even sell this to media outlets, since you're right, they aren't collecting this footage themselves. Maybe I could interest them in this. Not a one. I couldn't get anyone interested in that footage from the mainstream media. And it wasn't because there was some dirty hidden secret in my footage that they didn't want to expose to the world. The reason I got this as a response from one media company, they said, no, thank you. We're looking for short clips. They don't want a 9-minute long clip because most people's attention spans isn't that long. Even people, and I can look at the analytics right now, and I can tell you it drops off, especially when we get to the boost back phase and it's just a small, tiny little pair of boosters flying back. Personally, I think that's the best part of it right there, that really challenging part where you can see the little puffs of gas coming out of the boosters, and no one else can see that by eye. It can only be seen with optical aid through a telescope or a camera. But at that point, the viewership starts dropping off. And that's exactly why the media expresses zero interest in that footage when I tried to offer it to them. I was practically handing it to them. I would have given it to them for $1. I didn't care. I just wanted that footage out there. But they didn't even want it because they don't want their viewership numbers dropping off like that. They know if they put this video up and they just roll this 10-minute long clip or 8-minute long clip, whatever it was, of launch to landing, people are going to start tuning out after the first 30 seconds. So they wanted really short, snappy clips of, sonic booms, rockets come down, land, done. And those are the clips you saw. You saw a bunch of people with cell phone footage. You saw a bunch of people out at the Saturn V Center at the Field of Heat event shooting short clips with what they could get with their home cameras, not the really high-quality stuff like what Red and I were filming. And that's what the media focused on because it was easily digestible and it was very short. So I'm telling you right now, even if you handed them that footage, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't roll it because to them, it's boring.
Well, let me just say this, when it comes down to it, this is supposedly a monumental feat. And again, there should be people, for example, out in the ocean.
We get a response when it's done.
Heatedly. And, all these cheerleaders, you hear people screaming, but none of them have cell phones. Everybody in society has a cell phone. Why is thousands of different angles and footage? That's the big question to me. It's always YouTube. Out of all the millions of YouTube. That's a serious problem for me. That's what I'm getting. Staying away from the 10-foot pole.
Yep. Thank you.
Go ahead, Ritz.
The reason why it's us two is because we have invested a criminal amount of time into giving you guys what you guys have been asking for. And now that we're actually meeting the obligation that you guys just bestowed upon us, you are now obligated to get us this type of footage that SpaceX is doing what they claim that they are doing. You are obligated to get it in one continuous shot to show that the thing that launched is the same thing that landed. You are obligated in all this. So once we meet our obligation, now you're treating the fact that we have the capability of meeting that obligation that you guys just bestowed upon us as part of the fucking conspiracy. So if you do not accomplish the goal, you're screwed. If you do accomplish the goal, you're equally as screwed. So basically, there is no winning with the conspiracy theorists. And what Astronomy said, what Astronomy Live just said was correct, 100% correct. If you go out and you ask the mainstream media to invest in this type of equipment to satisfy little old you, they're going to look at us like, why would we waste a colossal amount of money to satisfy some reject on the internet? We can reinvest our money in other ventures where we're actually going to make even more money.
There's no incentive.
Okay,
right?
so
there's just no incentive.
Yeah, there's just no incentive. So what Astronomy Live did, he said, okay, the mainstream media isn't going to satisfy these guys. So here's the thing: I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to develop software that will give them the type of shot that they want. And then you had me come along and say, well, not only will I also get the shot, I will get the shot with the flat Earth camera of choice. And then I'm going to increase the quality to max at 4K resolution. So now they really can't bitch. And now what do we have? We have you still bitching about it, even though this is from a camera that you shitheads told me to get. So in reality, there's no way – hang on, I'm not done yet. There is no way to satisfy you with footage. There's no way to satisfy you with images. The only way you're going to be satisfied is for you to see it to yourself, which is why I think Kyle is right. What you're doing by saying that, oh, we have this trustworthy person that I'm going to put all my stock into, no, that's a cop-out. You're simply delaying the inevitable.
Yep.
You are going to have to go down to Florida in order for you to actually be without any sort of excuse. and I'm going to be there with the Nikon P1000. And after I film an amazing launch and landing sequence, I'm going to zoom all the way out. I'm going to point that badass camera at your fucking face,